So a long time ago, I got a really nice shirt, which I'm not wearing right now. This is a nice shirt though. But I also got a really nice shirt and this mug from Loads of Bacon at the Reloaders Network. So this is my plug for the Reloaders Network. But we're actually here to talk about this sight. So a couple weeks ago, I posted a video on the Glock 40. This is the Model 40, 10mm, and I've had some more time to get out and shoot it, use the sight. So I wanted to just give you some first impressions on the sight. Now I haven't owned this thing for that long, so long-term use, well, we'll have to wait and see on that. And I'll do a follow-up, I don't know, maybe in the late winter, early spring. And after I've had a chance to take this out in the nasty weather that's about to get here, dragging this thing up in the woods, hunting with it, and really putting it to good use and seeing what I think after that. But first impressions is I really, really like this sight. So let's just jump right in, take a close look at this thing, and see what we got. First things first, well, I've already emptied the box. All the goodies are on the bench. So this is the Vortex Venom Red Dot. Now, this is a 3 MOA dot, so it doesn't cover up a whole lot of your target out to 100 yards. And I have shot this sight at 100 yards. And it works. It works really well. So what you get with this is, well, obviously the sight. You're going to get this cool little cover here. And that just slips down over this. And it's kind of a tight fit. It's not too tight. I don't think I would walk through the woods with this thing on here. I'm afraid it would fall off. I don't want to have to worry about taking a little sheath off my sight if I needed it right away either. Along with that, you get a mounting bracket. There are some screws. You get a Torx wrench here, and you also get a screwdriver, and it's got two different sizes, one on each end here. You also get an Allen wrench with 2 screws in it, instructions, and a nice little cloth here, a little lens cloth for cleaning up that lens. You probably don't care too much about the accessories. I'm sure you want to know more about the sight. So let's just take a good look at this. So here's the sight. It's pretty basic. Right here is where the battery goes. It takes a very common battery. That little cap just spins right open. There's your battery there. You have your 2 mounting screws right here that mount to this plate right here that came with the Glock MOS version, which is a modular optic sight. Right here you've got your vertical adjustments here for the red dot, and on the other side here, I'll show you that in a second, it looks just the same. That is for your windage. You have 2 controls right here. You have an up arrow and a down arrow. The second that you press this up arrow, just one little press and the light comes on. If you press it and hold it, it's going to blink. So when it blinks, it's got 2 modes. It's got an auto mode and a manual mode. The auto mode is going to increase the brightness or decrease the brightness depending on the ambient light conditions that you might be in, which I think is actually pretty cool, and it actually does a really good job of it. Now another important thing is, in the auto mode, after 14 hours, this is going to just auto power down to help save the battery life, and this battery will run a very long time. But after 14 hours, it's going to power down. The manual mode, it will not power itself down. So if you want this in the auto mode, you just press and hold this up arrow right here, and you're going to hold that until it flashes 3 times. Once it flashes 3 times, you release it, and it goes into auto mode. Now if you want to do manual mode, you're just going to hold this until it flashes twice. As soon as it flashes twice, you release it, you're in manual mode. Personally, I found that just running this in an auto mode is more than enough for me. So taking a look here at the windage dials, or the elevation and windage, the dials are 1 click equals 1 minute of angle, and 1 minute angle here, according to Vortex, is 1.05 inches, is what their measurement is. A true MOA is 1.047, so we're extremely close on that. And I have found that as I've dialed this around here, just making my adjustments for sight in, that I'm spot on. If I had to come up, 3 inches, 3 clicks, boom, I'm there. One thing I will say is these clicks, you can't hear it, neither can I. They're very, very small, inaudible clicks, but they seem to hold okay in, when I'm shooting this thing. It's under a heck of a lot of abuse flying back and forth as this slide runs, but they seem to hold just right where they're supposed to hold, so no complaints there. I do wish that they were a little bit more audible, that you could feel them a little bit better as you're turning them, but that's all right. So if we flip this thing around real quick, you'll see the windages here, and they're well marked, up and right. You'll notice too that the indicator here on which way you need to click, whether you want to go right, left, up, or down, this is marked with an arrow with right, so it's pretty user-friendly there. And of course, nice little name tag there, Venom 3 MOA. One thing I do like about this is that they've added in some additional white lines here for basically the extension of your rear sight. So I do find that the very top of the front sight post, if I level the top right here with this, I'm on target. So nothing is in the way of my red dot. So let's take a look at the red dot here real quick. So if you hold this up arrow, you're going to see the flash, and you'll see it gets a little bit brighter. And then if you hold it on the down arrow, it'll just immediately turn off after about 2 seconds. It just shuts itself right off. Overall, I really do like this Vortex Venom sight. It's holding up well. It's very clear glass too. That's one thing I should mention, is the glass is very clear. The red dot, I wish I could get you a real true image, but the cameras that I have, they're not picking it up right. So it looks either bigger or smaller than what it actually is. But it is 3 MOA. So I guess you can figure, 3 MOA out at 100 yards, and that's the size of it. So it doesn't cover up your targets. It's very, very easy to use. When I pull a Glock up, Glocks, they fit me very good. So when I pull these up, they're spot on. My sight picture's there. I can still use the backup sights since Vortex put the little sight extensions basically on their sight. So I can't see the front sight. Well, I can when I first pull it up. If I tip it down just a tiny bit and just level that front sight with the rear sight extensions that they have painted on here, I'm spot on. So, if the battery went dead or something, I'm still in business when I'm out hunting. So that was a good idea on their part. And I can't find anything on this that I dislike. I actually like everything about it. The only one thing I could say is I wish that the clicks in the adjustment were just a little bit, I wish you could feel them maybe just a little bit better, or they were maybe more audible or something. They're very, very quiet, and it's really hard to feel those clicks. But that being said, they're holding true. They're not moving, and the adjustments are correct. So, I guess that's just me being a little bit picky about it, because they actually work and they work good. So I shouldn't really knock them for that, because they do work exactly how they are supposed to work. So other than that, I'm pretty happy with it, and I guess I blabbed enough. I do want to do a follow-up video, make sure that it can withstand the abuse of dragging it through the woods in the open, and making sure it still operates and functions properly and still holds zero. I would think that this sight here, because it does come with the other little mounting bracket, that it would be, if you wanted to mount this on a 22 or an AR style platform, it would certainly withstand the abuse of that, especially since it withstands the abuse of a 10mm so far. Shooting some real hot stuff out of this too. So anyways, there's my 2 cents for the Vortex Venom sight. And If you're interested, I'm going to leave a link below. They're running around, I've seen them anywhere from $229 to $249. They're in that price range there, so I'll link one below. And other than that, I will see you next week with a new video. Stay tuned.